Hey, you cat kids. This is Module 23, the definition and measurement of money. So what is money? Well, typically what we'd say is, money is something that can be used to purchase goods and services. So if you look, currency in circulation is just all the cash that's held by the public, so all the money that you have. There's checkable bank deposits, which are going to be accounts that allows you to write the check, right? You have money in your account someplace, your checking account. We have the money supply. The money supply is the total value of all the financial assets in the economy that are considered money. So that's the whole broad spectrum, the umbrella of what money supply is. And we'll get further into that in a second. But really, what does money allow us to do? Money allows us to not have to barter, right? Money makes it so, hey, I don't have to say 1 goat for 2 chickens, something like that. Instead, I can just say, oh, a chicken is worth this much, and then I give you money. So I don't have to walk around with all my goats. Roles of money, how does money work? Money can be used as a medium of exchange, right? So money says, hey, I can use this and trade for that, right? So if I need to go to Miss Cotney and say, hey, I need some chickens, I could give her money and she can give me a chicken, or maybe she can just give me the eggs, right? I can use money for that. Money can be a store of value, which means money is going to keep its value no matter what you do with it, right? You could put it under your mattress, for example, or bury it out in your backyard in a coffee can. And then, 5 years later, if you unbury that money, it's still money. You can still use it. Now, it's not the world's greatest idea because we know of things from the last unit like inflation, right? So maybe you shouldn't put your money in a coffee can. But if you're from the UP, what else are you going to do? And last but not least, money can be called like a unit of account. Money is used to measure what something is worth. If you know you have $10, then you also know what items are worth $10. So a unit of account starts to become easier to measure. It's harder to measure something in a barter system. If I do, what is 1 goat worth? I don't know. And then you start having to, what if I had to break that down into literally everything? I got to have 100 goats for maybe a new car. Well, is 100 goats worth a new car? I don't know. So that unit of account, it becomes that standard of value. I know when I pay this much money, I got this much of a good or service. Types of money out there. Commodity money is basically something that has value itself. Gold, silver, in prison, cigarettes, you kind of can trade that particular item. It has value. Commodity-backed money is usually like a paper dollar kind of a thing that's backed by one of those other things. So back in the day, our money would be backed by something like gold, right? So your dollar would say, oh, you could buy $8 worth of gold someplace in some vault or somewhere that they had set aside that would back that dollar. We've gone away from that system. Now what we have is fiat money. And fiat money is basically your money is worth what it's worth because we say it's worth it, right? That is today's money. It is not backed by gold, it's not backed by silver, it's not backed by anything other than the fact that when you present that $20 bill, you can get $20 worth of goods and services for it. And because we just take it as a given that $20 is worth $20, that's what $20 is worth. So really, when you think about what backs America's money today, there's dollar, literally the only difference between our dollars and monopoly money is you take our dollars for different goods and services. If you could walk around with monopoly money and just pay things off and people would take it, then it would become real money. But we don't do that. We only take the money that the government gives you as real money, and the rest of it we kind of just disregard. But that's what fiat money is. It's basically just the money that government said is going to be good, and that's it. So things like Bitcoin and things like that become super interesting because why is Bitcoin worth what it's worth? Well, it's basically worth what it's worth because people say it's worth that. And if people want Bitcoin, then it's going to continue to have value. If people don't want Bitcoin, it won't have value. But it's not backed by anything other than the fact that people say it's worth something. So as we measure the money supply, there's a couple of things we have to get out of this. First of all, when we talk about the money supply, we're measuring this overall thing. And M1 is part of the money supply, and it's only the money in circulation. So it's currency and coins, it's checking and savings accounts, it's traveler's checks, which people don't really use traveler's checks anymore. I don't think now when you have credit cards and that kind of stuff, it's traveler's checks are sort of a thing of the past. But those things are in there. And maybe I said savings account, my apologies. Currency, checking account, traveler's checks. When you get to M2, okay, M2 has everything from M1 already included, right? So M2, so like if this is M1 right here, okay, then M2 is this, right? Everything from M1 is in M2. So that's currency and coins, checking accounts, traveler's checks, etc. But then M2 also includes savings accounts, short-term CDs, money market accounts. So it's harder, for example, to get your money out of a money market account sometimes. Like you might have to, like in my money market account, if I'm taking money out of there, I have to get it in increments of $500. My checking account doesn't work that way, right? So it's a little more difficult to go from to get M2 into like liquid. And so savings account, short-term CDs, same kind of concept. It's a little bit more difficult than just M1 where it's like, hey, this is basically money right here. So how is money made? Money is made through the Bureau of Engraving, right? They're the ones that print and produce dollars. When you look at what they're made out of, if you ever throw your, $10 bill through the wash, you know that it doesn't fall apart like paper because it's made out of like 25% linen and 75% cloth. And then it talks about how long over here on the side, like a bill lasts. So a dollar basically is in circulation for 6.6 years. $5 bills or less, and then like $100 bills, those are usually in circulation for a while. Now, sometimes they make security changes and then they have to take money out and then put new money in, okay? They do that, just go to the bank, take cash out, get rid of it, put new cash in place of it. But that's how money is made. Cost to produce things, when you look at the different things here in terms of like dollars and cents, it actually costs 1.62 cents to make a penny, so it actually costs more than what it actually is valued at, which is kind of funny. Same thing for, it looks like most of our money here, like that, well, maybe not most. Let's see, dimes are a little bit more, nickels are a little bit more, oh no, dimes are not. That's a 50-cent piece there. And then quarters are only 7.3 cents. So it's interesting to see. Some people have argued getting rid of pennies, getting rid of nickels, just going to maybe getting rid of dimes, just go to quarters, right? Round everything to the nearest quarter. Who knows? Now that we're just basically paperless anyway, maybe we should just, everything should be just scanned in and use a credit card or something. $1, 6 cents to make, right? Doesn't last as long as coins though. There you go. Where does your money originate? These are different places. If you ever look at your coins and things, you can see where it was minted, for example. But there's different places, and all over the place that make our money for us. And that's it, right? That's kind of how we have money, looking at money, etc. I have some shredded up money that you can buy. Like when they take it out of circulation, they'll sometimes shred it up, and then you can buy bags of it, or I have a jar full of it from the Bureau of Engraving right here. And kids sometimes ask, like, is that just shredded up money? And I'm like, yeah, that's what it is, right? They take it, they shred it, they got to get rid of the old stuff and put the new stuff into circulation. So it's kind of a fun thing to have, but it's interesting to know about too. So until next time.